there, Gemini, and welcome to your May 2020 reading. Happy birthday to those of you who have May birthdays. I hope that it goes really, really well, and I hope this video finds you happy and healthy. You can use this reading for your sun, moon, or your rising sign, and I also want to mention, if you're new here, my name is Kayleigh. I do these readings for creators, artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is working on their self-expression, personal growth, or spirituality. So stick around if those areas of life are important for you, and let's get into it. So while I was connecting to your energy, Gemini, I was given this impression of, it was like someone was walking, okay, and then there's like these people kind of that are starting to walk behind that person. And they seem like they're almost kind of further back, and they seem sort of timid, like they're timidly kind of walking behind this other person, and then the other person turns around and sees them and is like, oh, like kind of taken aback, like surprised that they're there. And honestly, like the way that I felt this as I sort of tuned in to the image, because when my guides give me messages, they're always very symbolic. So sometimes I have to kind of piece it out. And one of the things that was coming through actually is that I feel like the people walking behind you, like I feel like you're the person walking, and then the other people were kind of representative of people behind you. I feel like there's something that people want to learn from you this month, and I'm not sure exactly, under what context that is becoming more clear for you. But there is an impression that I'm getting that you actually have something to teach, or that you have something valuable to offer. And maybe it's to people who are a couple steps behind you, like the meditation message. It's like there's these people that are a few steps behind you. Maybe they're not leaps and bounds behind you, but you've walked a certain path a little bit further than they have. And that's all that you need in order to authentically be able to help someone else, is experience. If you have any amount of experience with something, and you genuinely have gone through your own process with whatever that thing is, I feel like you have something to offer. So even if you're kind of downplaying it, like I can feel some of you being like, oh, downplaying a little bit what your experience has been. I think that this is kind of an invitation for you to just be like, you know what? Yeah, if somebody asks me a question about this or that subject, like I'll just share whatever I know about it. Or if I sense that there's something that other people are wanting or resonating with right now that I actually have experience with and that I'm pretty good at, like if I say so myself, I might as well just share. And again, this could be in a really small situation. This could be like you sharing something with a friend, or with a group of friends, or with somebody that you live with, a member of your household. But it could also be in your career. Like this could be the beginning of you recognizing some kind of faculty that you have that is related to teaching, or the dispensing of useful or valuable information, insights, or skills. So just be open to this, because I think that this is definitely the inception of something, or the conception of something, but it's going to evolve. I feel like that's really the message that I get with this meditation, is like this is something, a recognition that you're having about yourself this month, Gemini, that is going to evolve, and you're going to begin to understand it more and more as you move ahead into the future. So just keep an open mind, and start small, maybe, start with something little, but I do think that this is something to explore. So let's take a look at your cards, and we'll get some more information. Okay, Gemini. Okay. And we're also going to get you your Animal Spirit Oracle cards, as always. And I'm also going to get you a Bob Ross message. Gemini message for Gemini. Clear loving guidance. for Gemini. So let's take a look here. So we've got whale as the path and peacock as the energy that crosses you. So the crossing energy is kind of a lesson. It can also be a blockage, and it can be an influence. So I'm just going to tune in here. So what I'm getting about your path with the whale card, again, I do have this sense of you potentially kind of being in this position of strength in some way. And it could be emotional strength. It could be your ability to kind of handle something like a complex situation with a lot of moving pieces. There's something about this card that's showing up for you in your path that almost makes me feel like you are, in some area of your life, you are someone that other people are looking at and seeing like, wow, they're really kind of handling this situation calmly, and they seem to be able to really listen to others and really connected to what is going on in that arena. Like, let's say it's at work. You might be somebody who's managing something that's really different for your job, like for the group of people that you work with. Many people are faced with very unusual situations right now. And I feel like with the whale card, it's almost giving me this sense that you are like a calm influence in the midst of a really kind of crazy or very adaptive, unpredictable atmosphere. And so with the whale card as your path, I feel like this represents you being sort of a beacon of light and strength in some way, and really feeling like there's something good that you can do within a particular situation. So that's really nice. And the crossing card, the peacock, again, there's this kind of stoic energy that I'm picking up on with this card right now that isn't necessarily what I always see. But the peacock is a creature that can digest pretty much anything. And that has a very powerful spiritual meaning to it. It really points to like your ability to process situations that seem very complex, almost indigestible, right? That you're like, or maybe other people around you are really struggling with coming up with solutions, or are maybe feeling a little bit insecure about changes that are going on. But I feel like you are still showing up with this kind of calm demeanor and this sort of stoic, like, yeah, I trust the path, or I know that there is a solution to this problem. And because you have that natural orientation towards faith right now, I think that's a really big strength that you have. Like, I don't think that people really understand the full benefit that people who have a natural trust and faith really do possess a very strong strength. Because if you believe that things are going to work out, or that you will be able to find some kind of a solution that will be able to make the situation at least a little bit better, if you believe that, then you're going to find it. But what happens with a lot of people is that if they don't believe, if they don't have faith that something is going to work out, then there could be solutions, left, right, and center all around them, but they're not seeing them because they don't have that natural orientation to trust, which trust is almost like a grounding factor in your psychology. It's like it grounds you. And so because you're not existing with all this mental static, you're able to kind of see like, oh, you know what, actually there is something we can do about this. And it may not completely fix the problem, but we are going to see some kind of movement in a better direction. So it's constructive and it's calm. calm and constructive. Those are the words that I want to use for you. And I think that that's why I got that message in the meditation of the people kind of like creeping up behind you, because it's almost like you're kind of inspiring that. But that is a very natural thing. Like that is one of the most natural aspects of the human psyche, is that when we see someone who is modeling behavior that seems to be coherent and effective within their environment, we naturally want to follow that example. And so I think that you're being a good example in some way. So let's take a look at your cards and get some more insight into how this could be playing out. Wow, so we've got 10 of Swords with the 4 of Cups, the Empress, and Strength. Beautiful. We've got Page of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Queen of Wands. Yeah, so this is so spot on, Gemini, with everything that I've been picking up on. This is a really beautiful reading. We do see some challenge, of course. I mean, we can't gloss right over the 10 of Swords. So definitely some ending energies as we go into May. You're probably dealing with something that is at its close and or its termination. But what I want to say is that actually for me, when I look at the 10 of Swords, I do sort of wish that it was illustrated a little differently, because this kind of gives a very hyperbolic expression of, you know, one of the potential facets of the 10 of Air. But the 10 of Air doesn't necessarily have to mean, you know, like something dramatic and brutal happening. It can also mean the end of a very stressful period of time, a very stressful cycle, because the Swords are definitely the most mentally stressful suit in the tarot. So the end, the last numbered Swords card, really points us to this idea that maybe there's a surrender going on. Maybe there's an acceptance of a situation that has been, you know, almost like one of those many-headed dragons, right? And whenever you try and cut one of the heads off, it's like 2 more spring up in its place. And so I think like sometimes the 10 of Swords can represent that mental shift that we can make, going from, okay, I'm going to try and cut all these heads off, and then seeing all these other heads like springing up and being like, what is going on? Like my actions are creating more chaos here. Shifting out of that mindset of having to slay every dragon and going into like, what is actually important for me here, and what do I actually have power to influence, right? Like what is actually my like sphere of clarity in the situation. Because if you're trying to put out all the other fires, or you're trying to slay all the dragons, you're never going to be able to accomplish that. And so I think sometimes with the 10 of Swords, it can be this idea of like, all right, there's many heads on this dragon and it's constantly evolving. And we're all kind of in a situation along those lines globally right now. We're dealing with a situation that is still very much in motion, and we don't know where all the cards are going to, you know, fall, or where the chips are going to fall. So what I get with this though is like, you're kind of sitting with that energy in surrender with the 4 of Cups as well. The 4 of Cups in this context is like somebody who's not losing their head over the end of something. Someone who's like, you know what, I'm just going to meditate and sit and breathe until the solution comes to me, because I know that something will. And you're right, Gemini, you're right. Something is going to come to you because you have the cup being offered to you from Spirit. So you just have to kind of, you don't have to slay all the dragons, you don't have to clean up all the messes, you don't have to solve all the problems. You just have to sit and be quiet with yourself until you are able to raise yourself to that vibration to receive the insight, the inspiration, the idea that's going to begin the next process, right? So that's what we're getting with that first week of May. That's what it's all about, is you sitting with maybe some chaos, maybe some uncertainty, maybe some endings. But you're going to be manifesting your energy, and other people are going to be seeing you in regards to that, or they're going to be seeing you as very calm, you know? So it's a good thing. It's a really good thing for you to be able to improve or benefit whatever this is that's going on. The energy does shift though, because we have in the second week of May, Right after that Scorpio full moon, we've got the Strength card and Empress. So what I get with this is really like kind of taking the reins in some way. Both of these cards are very empowered archetypes, right? Like the Empress just sits, she's like, I know I'm enough no matter what. She's kind of just sitting prettily on her throne, kind of just completely in her zone, completely sovereign, in her power, not needing to prove anything to anyone, and just very full well aware of her creative power to manifest what she needs. And then we have the Strength card, which is showing to me, the lion kind of represents the passions, right? And the fight or flight. It's the animal within us. And so seeing the Strength card, the woman touching the lion's mouth, this is a wild, very dangerous creature. This is the higher mind coming into contact with the fight or flight response, the thalamic brain, in the human being, the limbic system, the very kind of guttural, like reactive, instinctual part of ourselves. It's like your higher self is connecting. It's like reaching down into that and connecting with that and soothing it. And I think that culminates when you have that kind of alignment. That's real strength. That's strength that will give you the ability to actually be courageous in situations that might be really frightening or shocking to other people. You're able to kind of have a hold of yourself. You're able to kind of bring your best self forward, I guess. And so in the second week of May, there could be some energy around like an empressy woman, helping you out in some way, Gemini. But it could just as easily be that both of these cards represent you. And both of them represent you coming into full contact with your gifts and your natural strengths, and recognizing that there's actually a lot more that you could be capable of. There's a lot more that you could do than what you have been doing. And so I think that what these cards really represent is like, as you kind of sit with a situation that feels a little anxiety inducing or chaotic, or it's just an ending, you then start to realize all of these treasures and all of these capacities that you have within yourself that give you a lot more courage to take action on those things. And the Empress is, the card of creative fertility. So there is something here about like bringing something into manifestation, bringing something into being, which could be, again, business related, creative, or literally she can pertain to physical fertility as well. But either way, I get this sense of like the circulation with the lemniscate above the Strength figure's head. That's the proper cycling of your own energy. So you're not losing energy in being overly anxious and reactive to things that you don't have control over, right? And that's a nice trick, because when you're not losing energy, when the energy loops back and comes back and you get to keep it within yourself because you're not losing it through emotional reactivity, that's when you can really see amazing movements forward in your life. You can be so connected spiritually that you can start to feel almost like there's a spiritual component. There's almost like a spiritual essence that's working through you. So this is getting very esoteric, but I think that it's important because that's what I'm seeing, so I have to say it. Third week of May, we've got some decisions to be made. So we have Page of Pentacles and Two of Wands. And Two of Wands I look at as this guy kind of holding the globe, and he's got his hand on one wand that's been unbolted, actually. You can see at the bottom. The other wand is still bolted down. So he's kind of still weighing out options, but he seems like he's pretty sure the territory that he wants to move into. And the globe is a symbol of that. It's like, I have the world in my hands. There's limitless possibilities for me. And so I'm going to kind of chart a course that takes me in a new direction. He's not going yet because he's on the inside of the wall still. So I feel like the third week of May is like strategy and preparation for you. So keep your journal handy, write down your ideas that you get, because with the Page of Pentacles, you're going to be coming up with practical strategies. You're going to be coming up with ways that you can improve upon either your own work that you've already been doing, or ways that you can branch out and do something totally different in your, however you express your creativity, right? Because these are readings for creators. And so you're going to be feeling like there's a lot of things that you can do, but I feel like the Page of Pentacles is also saying use practicality as your measuring stick for which ones you're going to actually put energy into mapping out and doing, okay? It has to be grounded, and I think it has to be of real use to other people. And I think that if you can get those elements on board and you are excited about it, I think that this could take you so far, Gemini. I think this could be something that you are like so excited about doing. So that's the third week. Is definitely a very strategic week. And, it culminates on the 22nd with that new moon in Gemini right after the sun enters your sign. So you're going to have that really powerful sense of seeding, okay? You're going to have that really powerful sense that your new moon, right as the sun moves in, the moon meets the sun, and it's just beautiful. It's going to be a really beautiful time. It's a total fresh start for you. You're going to be starting a clean slate. You're going to be feeling refreshed, cleansed, and purified. So actually, that was also something I was going to say is think about in the first few weeks of May, if you kind of get the sense that you could benefit from a little bit of some kind of detox, whether it's detoxification of your physical body through maybe some, doing some juicing, or, cutting out certain foods for a period of time, whatever kind of program that you feel drawn to and that you research. I think it could be a really good use of your time, leading up to the ingress of the sun into Gemini. That could be a really good time to detox a little bit. You can also do something like a dopamine detox, which I also find really useful, especially when I'm doing a lot of social media work. A dopamine detox is any detox where you intentionally kind of set aside, like, all right, if you have to work on social media, or if you have to engage in other dopamine raising activities, or if you just like to and you're always kind of scrolling on your phone and things like that, it's about creating limitations around that. So you might have one day a week where you just absolutely do a full dopamine detox and you don't go on social media at all. You don't do any stimulating behaviors like watching really stimulating shows, or engaging with things that kind of give you that dopamine boost, and you just give your body and your psychology a chance to kind of reset one day a week. That could be it. Or you could just limit it so you don't use social media until after 3 p.m. or from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. or something like that. Whatever you want to do, but I think that there could be like some little things that you could play around with that you intuitively feel like, yeah, I want to kind of give my body a little cleanse, like a little purification before Gemini season actually begins. I think that could be really great in the first 3 weeks of May. The last week, remember how I mentioned teaching, guys? You have the Hierophant and the Queen of Wands. So the Hierophant is a teaching card, and the Queen of Wands is also a very enthusiastic personality. So this could be you teaching with someone else, like doing a joint workshop, or maybe doing a podcast, interviewing someone, or something along those lines. But there could be two personalities here, or if you're more of a lone wolf like I am, Gemini, these might both be representing you. But I do feel that around the end of the month, there is this kind of excitement around like sharing and speaking more. The Hierophant relates to the 5th chakra. So it's the throat, basically. And I think that this is a really beautiful time for you to express yourself in some way and share more about yourself, your story, enjoying being a little bit more extroverted somehow. And this could even be through writing as well, if you're more of a writer. But there's something here about really sharing and being excited, like talking about things that you're excited about is a big theme in the last week of May. Let's take a look at your Bob Ross message. You have to allow the paint to break to make it beautiful. Beautiful. I think that this is referring to the first week and that energy that we were seeing of like you being able to show up like with a certain calmness and fortitude, even in the midst of like the breaking down of something. This is a theme that I've seen in a couple signs already. So it makes sense, but I feel like this is really for you, Gemini. This is really speaking to you, like recognizing the truth of this statement from the Bob Ross card in your bones. Like, let the freaking paint break, let it break. Let something come apart, because even sometimes the cracks are what makes something beautiful. There's a concept, I'm blanking on the name, but it's in Japanese, so it's probably why I don't remember it, but it's basically the concept that the little imperfections, like the cracks in a ceramic vase, right? Like that's what makes it beautiful. Those little imperfections, those little things that we might think, especially those of us who are Mercury ruled, we might look at something and think, oh, we need to fix that, or that's not perfect, or I'm flawed in these ways, or I notice this about myself. If I hear myself talk, I just can't stand hearing myself. My own voice bothers me. That kind of thing. We might be thinking that, but that's our subjective view. And there could be people who are connecting with your work or who are resonating with something that you're doing, and they're not seeing it that way. Maybe they like the little imperfections about you. Maybe that's what makes you you, or what makes your work unique. So thinking that that is something that always needs to be squashed is almost like stomping around on the most sacred altar of existence, right? Because if you're working on something, or if you're sharing something and it's coming from your heart and you're really in the zone when you're working on it, that's not just you doing that. There's something else going on as well. So just respect the process, allow the paint to break a little bit as well. If there are situations in your life that are changing quickly, let those things happen, okay? That's what I'm getting for you, Gemini, and I think that you are actually going to rise a lot in this context, so I'm happy for you. Please let me know your feedback in the comments. If you want to let me know just that you're still with me and you enjoyed the reading, give me a little heart emoji and a Gemini zodiac emoji, or you can just say hearts Gemini if you want to type it out if you don't have emojis. I love getting those comments. It's just such a fun way to feel a little bit of interaction from you guys, even if you are, like me, where I don't really comment on a lot of things online. I'm very kind of just quiet when I'm not on camera. So, but if you just want to let me know that you're still with me, that you enjoy these readings, definitely leave me a little hearts Gemini comment, give this video a thumbs up. Those things are not only just really sweet and kind-hearted towards me, but also really supportive to my channel, and really in YouTube's algorithms, it lets the algorithm know that people are engaging with this content. So it's very supportive all around. So if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and do that. I'm sending you tons of love. I will also put the information on my lunar self-care moon mapping course. It is a combination of homeopathy, astrology, astronomy, and a whole lot of other things that I do personally for my self-care, and all the information for that course, which is starting very soon, will be below the video. You can also choose to donate if you'd like to support my channel. Even just $1 is so amazing and so helpful to support all the time and energy that I put into these readings every month. Okay guys, sending you tons of love. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.